Lately something had been bothering me. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, so I decided to take some time off from family and work to think. I left behind convention to get in touch with myself so I could try to get to the bottom of what had been nagging me and causing me so much grief and turmoil. Finally, it dawned on me. Truly a revelation had occurred, as if I had been jarred from a long slumber and all at once came to my senses. I need to see if I can revitalize my dead lead-acid batteries. This is a Syntec Harbor Freight battery charger that I bought a few days ago that I did a couple of modifications to. The big problem with this charger is that it won't start charging unless it detects like 6 volts or something like that, and then it shuts off when it detects a higher voltage, like when the battery is fully charged. And I didn't want that either. I wanted to be able to hook this up so I can just put current into a battery and try to revive them. So I did some modifications on the inside, and they're not very hard to do if you know how to solder, even some fairly basic soldering skills. So on the front you got the 2 amp, the 10 amp, and the 50 amps. And what I do with that is I just use the 50 amp setting to try to jolt the battery and burn up some of the crystallization in there, I guess is what it's called. Not really sure. But if you open it up, there are 2 white wires right here. All right, this white wire on the top used to be right here. So what you want to do is just unsolder it from that and solder it onto this one right here. But there's another wire on the other side that you're basically just joining these 2 wires together. And when you solder this one on, you want to make sure that you don't unsolder that one. And then on this side, just a side view of it, you have some jumpers there. It's not the prettiest job, but on that one, on the other side, there's a transistor that you'll have to clip off, and then you'll jump these 2 soldering points together. And then sort of the same down here, you have, I don't know if you can see where those 2 brown soldering pads got ripped off right there. Happened when I was desoldering it. But it's okay if that happens. You can take, once you get that transistor off, you can just solder these 2 points together, and it's the same jumper. It's the same thing as jumpering those 2 pads right there that got ripped off. These are the transistors that you'll be clipping off on the other side of that little circuit board where you made the 2 jumpers. But what that does when you rewire this is it makes it so that it doesn't have to detect a voltage right away, and it makes it so that it won't shut off when it gets to charged voltage. It just makes it so these 2 guys always have power flowing through them. So as soon as you plug it in, you can't turn it off unless you unplug it. So I got a few batteries over here. This one is not very old. It's 2022, I think. But I tested it on my battery tester, and it was only showing like 20-something%. Or no, it was showing like 20 cranking amps, like 25 or somewhere in the neighborhood of that. 25 cranking amps on full charge, so it would just die immediately. This one I had in a Honda Accord that sat for a really long time that I bought, and it just killed the battery, and it wouldn't hold a charge at all. So I did this method on this battery, and I pretty much brought it back to full health almost. Not quite there yet, but getting there. It's within 50 cranking amps of being fully back to normal. It's a 550 cold cranking amps. So this one's almost back to full health. This one right here was really bad. Not sure where this one came from. Sometimes people just give me stuff and I take it. So this one's pretty old. It's a 2015. And this one was really bad. The internal impedance was 100%. It was completely shot. Wouldn't take a charge, wouldn't do anything. It was just trashed. And now I've got that one. It's a 650 cold cranking amps, and I've got that one up to about 400 now. So I have this one set on 50 amps, and I have it hooked to a switch over here, because when you're charging these, the batteries outgas hydrogen, I think, and it stinks and it's explosive. So if you're unhooking or hooking up one of these battery leads and it sparks, then it could cause an explosion. So you always want to make sure you're in a well-ventilated area. I'm here in my shop with a big open door right there, so I'm not too concerned about it, but I still take precaution. Before I turn it on, I make sure it's on 50 amps, and then I'll flip this open because that transformer gets pretty warm, and if it's just enclosed in this box, then it'll overheat and shut off. So this battery is one that I have hooked to my trailer winch, and it's been showing some signs of degradation. So I'm gonna run through a test real quick. Do a standard test. I got this thing off of Amazon, I think. It was fairly cheap, but it's really handy. So out of vehicle, and I charge this and it won't take very much charge, and it's not totally dead, but I'll show you in just a second. Your cold cranking amps and 300. So I'll set that on 300 because that's the cold cranking amps of the battery, and just hit check. And this is after charging, above 0. So it's saying it has 2.11 volts. It's only good for 245 cold cranking amps. The life is 68%. Impedance is high. I think you want to keep that down around 5 or so. And then state of condition, I think, is what that means. SOC over there on the left hand side. If that's wrong, just comment, tell me what it is. But that's 53%, saying poor performance. So I'm gonna try to hook this one up to my charger over here and see if I can get this one back to full health. All right, so I'll get those hooked up, switch it on, and we'll come back in a little bit to see if we've made any progress. Okay, so this has been sitting for probably about 20 minutes. So I'm gonna hook up my tester, see if we've made any progress. Okay, so I don't remember all the numbers that were here last time, but now it's telling me it's good performance. I know that the cold cranking amps has jumped up from, it was like 240 somewhere in that area, so that's gone up to 273. Life has gone up. I can't remember what the impedance was on the other one, so I should probably write that down and see what the change is. but also I know that the SOC has gone up to 100% where it wasn't there before, I don't think. So I'm gonna put this on for a little bit longer and see if I can get it better. All right, it's been another 15 minutes or so. So I'm gonna unhook everything and test it again. Whoops. Let's go. All right, so our last test with the cold cranking amps was 272, so it's gone up to over 300. Let's see. Our last life percentage was at 76, and now it's at 84. Impedance has gone down from 11.13 to 10.12, and also state of condition is 100%. The only thing that I see that I don't really like is the impedance is 10, whatever MR is, I don't remember. Leave a comment, tell us all about it. So I'm gonna leave it on for just a little bit longer and see if I can't get that to drop a little. Making sure the battery's not getting hot. This might be the last test. I don't know. I don't want to push it too far since it is still a good battery, but we'll see what it did. 13.18 volts, which is higher than last time. I don't remember what it was. 322 cranking amps, cold cranking amps. And it was like right at 300 before. It was like 298. Life 90%. That was at like 80 something, 84 maybe. Impedance has gone down from 10 or so. And the battery, I think I'm gonna leave it here and just call it good. And see how it performs with my winch. And I know that this is like kind of a best case scenario kind of thing because the battery wasn't trashed to begin with. It was still okay. But hopefully I've just boosted the performance with it. Well, that's gonna do it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, found any of the information useful or even mildly entertaining, just go down there and gently caress that like button or subscribe button. Until we meet again.